Alright folks, out here on a new spot. Never been in here a day in my life. And what do we find? Oh yeah. Let me come over here. Look at that puppy there. That's a freaking hog. I'm sure there's some more in here, but this is a little different than what I'm normally used to picking. But I saw this from the road and I decided that I wanted to get in here. Archie just knocked it over. And so that's where we're at, folks. Hey folks, Jeff here. Today we're going to be talking about preservation of morels. A lot of people have been asking me, Jeff, you pick so many morels, how do you preserve them? Well, this is one way. These are about 5 years old. You put them on a screen with an oscillating fan underneath them. I don't know if you can see that real well, but they preserve pretty nicely. Stick them in a Pyrex or canning jar. Never put the lid back on them. And then you can soak them in milk to rehydrate them, or you can just crush them up and use them as seasoning and like spaghetti sauce and stuff. So that's a drying method. Another method is to flash freeze them. These here are about 4 or 5 years old in the freezer. But what you do is you cut them in half, you prep them, stick them on a cookie sheet, put them in the freezer so they don't touch. Once they're frozen, put them in a Ziploc baggie, throw them in the freezer, get your pan hot, stick of butter, go straight from the freezer, straight to the medium-high heat pan, and you cannot tell the difference from when they were fresh or frozen. That's my method. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Okay, folks. So we've got all these morels that I've been picking for the last couple weeks. And as you can see, I've kept them in a paper sack. And the reason I keep them in a paper sack is the paper sack holds the moisture. Okay, and then you take some paper towels, if you will, throw them on the top of the paper sack, and voila, wet them every couple days. It'll keep these guys nice and fresh for a long time. As you can see, these are a couple weeks old. Some of them probably were, but we're going to flash freeze these here in a little bit. And after we prep them, and then they're going to be in the freezer. Yeah, that one there's no good. Look at that snail. Snails got to eat too, right? We'll put him off to the side. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of bugs and stuff in these, but you know, that's like escargot. So don't worry about the bugs. Eat the bugs, don't eat the bugs. I eat the bugs, I don't care. So we're going to get these all laid out here, and we're going to start prepping them for freezers. That's a good one right there, folks. The big old fat boy. Yes, sir. Alright, let's get these lined out and get prepping them. Some of these are starting to go bad. Some of them I should have taken care of a while ago. But you know how it goes. You get really super busy in life and you just can't keep up. So let's get these processed, folks. Alright folks, so in order to prep these, the first thing I do is I cut them long ways in half. Some people like to keep the stalk, some people don't. I cut a little bit of that off, so we got 3/4 of an inch on the stalk, and that's what we're going to freeze right there. Just those two halves. I'll throw them in there. We'll take this guy. It's a long process, but if you want to preserve them and don't want to continue eating them every night, which You know, it's not bad to eat them every night, but it's a lot nicer to flash freeze them. This method works pretty good. Like I said, the ones that I pulled out of the freezer there, they were 4 or 5 years old. And we're just going to lightly bread these, and then with some salt, pepper, garlic, and some flour. I'm not going to wet them, not going to wash them. I'm going to keep them as dry as possible. Lightly bread, put onto a cookie sheet, put them in the freezer, let them freeze, take them out of the freezer, put them in a Ziploc in proportionate sizes, back to the freezer. They're ready to cook. Just trim up some bad spots, throw them in the bin. Well, that one there don't have any stalk on it whatsoever, but that's perfect. This one, it's got a bad spot, so we're going to cut that off. This guy here is a little on the small side, but we'll throw him to the kitty. I mean, you can cut the bottoms off first and then cut them in half. It really doesn't matter. However you see fit. Just get them taken care of. Like I said, my method of the bag, keep wetting it on the top with some paper towels. Keep it shut, and they will last you 2 to 3 weeks. Most of these I picked within the last 2 to 3 weeks. So they last quite a while as long as you take care of them. But yeah, we're going to go through this process, cut them up, and I'm going to video it and fast forward. But look at that specimen right there. That one is just perfect. That's what morels are supposed to look like. It's just beautiful. And clean on the inside. Beautiful mushroom. Look at that one, folks. That's a beauty. That's a beauty. Nice and clean on the inside. Beautiful mushroom. a shot. Alright folks, so some of these went bad, but this is what we're left with. We got a whole bowl full ready for sticking in the freezer, and this is what we got left. And what we're going to do with this, we're going to package this up, throw it in a bag, find our nearest flower garden where there's maybe some elm trees or some ash trees or some apple trees or a combination of all. And we're going to throw these into that area in hopes that maybe one day they will come back. As you can see, like some of these are, yeah, they're just shot. There's nothing to do with them. Probably shouldn't even have picked them, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stumps there. Smell like morel. All right, folks, we got some garlic, we got some assat, some black pepper, we got some sea salt, and some flour. And I'm not going to measure this out. It's kind of just roughing it. We're going to put some flour in there. 3 big old heapers. That ought to be enough to do one batch. I guess we'll kind of measure. Put some salt in there. Put some garlic in there. Gonna put some acid in there. And some pepper. And that pepper's slow, so we're gonna do it this way. I like my pepper. Pepper makes everything better. Alright, so now we're gonna put the lid on this, shake her up a little bit, get all this stuff out of the way. And bring a tray over here, move stuff out of the way. There's a snail. I'm gonna put him back into the Morel batch. Alright, and we're just gonna flour these lightly. Whew, pepper got me. And then we're just gonna put them on the tray here. Just a light flour. Tap them off a little bit. We're gonna flash freeze them. Probably do this a little easier, but they're a little fragile, so I don't want to shake them up too much. Get two hands in there, get them busy. All right. All right. So it's pretty fun, especially when you can pretty much find them anywhere. It's not that hard. There's just a few little tiny details that you gotta pay attention to. Once you figure that out, YouTube can find them, watch videos. It's not that hard. All right, a couple more here, and we're gonna call this batch ready. All right, folks. So we've got the morels froze. We're gonna store them in some Ziplocs, mark them. So let's pull these out of the freezer, and I'll show you how I've done this. Okay, so as you can see, these are flash froze. These are solid. So you're gonna stick these right in that Ziploc, and you're gonna throw them right in the freezer. Get them all loose here. And trust me, that is the best morel preservation method I have ever found. We're going to throw these right in this Ziploc. We're going to write 2025 on it first. Morels 2025. Now remember, the key is don't let these defrost. Get your frying pan nice and hot. Look at them beauties. They are just extravagant. Get your frying pan nice and hot. And throw these puppies right in that hot butter until they crisp up. And trust me, you will use this method. It is a very tried, true method. But there you go. There's one bag. Let's do another one. 2025 Morels. All right. Shake off some of that excess. The drying method works all right, but this method works the best, I think. It really saves the texture, because when you dry them, they shrink up, and then you gotta, you gotta rehydrate them or whatnot. But yeah, look at that. I should have about 20 or 30 of these bags by the time I get done taking care of all these morels. But right back in the freezer. Voila. We're done. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, folks. So that is my method for preserving morels. When you got buckets like this, you got to do something with them because you can't eat them all. But we're gonna let that batch freeze. Put them in the Ziplocs that I don't have, that I need to go to the store and get some tomorrow. And then we're going to go through these. And for the night, if you got something like this left over, try to store them in a paper sack. Put a wet washcloth or something over them. It'll keep them fresher for a few days. But all right, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Not going to get any more morels, but there's a lot of other mushrooms coming up. Some turkey hunting, some fishing. Deer season's around the corner. I cannot wait. Stay tuned, and we'll talk to you folks soon. Thanks for watching.